Hi guys. So I've got quite a lot of positive comments from you from the first video, so I decided to make another one. And this one is gonna be a bit more for photographers. I decided to give maybe some tips for really people who just started the photography and they want to pursue their dream. The first thing that I want to mention is education, obviously, because from my experience, so I didn't have any photography education at all. Not that I didn't want it to, but the thing is, back in France, you had to pay for it and it was quite expensive. So I did it on my own as a work experience from the beginning. And to be honest, I don't even know if it's a good idea to study or not, because I've heard different versions of it, that some students who've done photography courses here in London, back in Paris, they said that some teachers try to change your inner eye, so they explain to you how to take pictures and not necessarily the creativity. So they don't care about how do you take the pictures. They want it to be done in the right way. But the thing is, it's very different from all of us. For me, for instance, I was searching for like an interest in light and an expression, so I wasn't interested in the technical part, and every time someone would explain the technical part, I would lose the interest. So I don't think it works for everyone to have the sort of education where they explain the ISOs, the speed and stuff like that. Obviously it's very important to know that, but then you can still learn it on the go, kind of. And what I heard from other people too, I remember I've met this photographer when I was a teenager, and I was doing already pictures for myself, but it was a bit more creative, I would say. And he was like, no, you have to start for making pictures in the right way, and then you can experiment, sorry. But the thing is, I kind of disagree, because if you have something already inside of you and you want to make it different, why learn how to take it in the right way from the beginning? Do both. I mean, like, nothing really stops you. So that's why I'm saying, like, you can listen to people around you, what they say, but then stay truthful to yourself, because it can. I know that I had my road of photography was kind of like that because of these kind of comments and people trying to teach you how to take pictures. And then sometimes the picture would be correct in the way of like speed, light, whatever, technical part would be right, but there's like zero emotions. And it's kind of something that I see a lot in the older photographers that I've met back then. Now I am the older photographer, but they would take the beautiful pictures technically, but nothing was like there's zero emotion. And it's what I see like very often. They have the most amazing cameras, but there is nothing as an emotion in the picture. And I think it what works actually. It's what people are searching for, a certain like honesty and emotion from the artist, not necessarily only the photographer. So yeah, I have like a very divided opinion about the education in the field of artistic work. Yeah. So then on the other hand, I also know that if you go and make studies in the photography or any other artistic field, it can be helpful because of the networking and contacts. So once you finish the school, obviously you will already know people and you will be already introduced to so many of them, and you will have a good network and things like that. So I think it can be also like very worth it. So I don't think there is one way or another. I don't think there is a right way. I mean, I think it's up to you. If you can afford the school, just go for it. And if you enjoy being around other people, there are so many factors about it. So for some people, maybe study online would be more interesting. For others, it's more interesting to go to the classes. So you really have to adapt depending on your character. And if you don't have any money and you don't know how to start, I think the best way to start is just do something like even if it's with your like friends, or just start shooting. The other advice that I can actually kind of give, it's just don't keep it to yourself, because I was so scared about talking about my dreams to other people. I still am, that I prefer not to say anything. But then the thing is, when you speak about your dreams or what you want to do, if people hear that and then something happens in their life and they're like, oh, but actually I know this photographer who can help you. So I think it's better to open about these things and maybe just be careful to who you speak, maybe not to everyone. But yeah, definitely try to be out there and tell about your like dreams or what you want to do, and try to work with other people, try to include other people in your projects. It always worked for me too, because when you do something like photography, you're quite often isolated. Okay, you take a picture of someone, or an actor for instance, what it was for me, and then you go back home, you have to select the pictures, edit the pictures, so you're by yourself basically, and it's quite isolating because you don't feel that you are needed in a way. So it's always nice to make projects with other people too. The other like more maybe technical tips that I can give for people who just start, and creative ones too, is about the lighting. You have to find the light that you like. For me it was always like the sunrise or sunset. I think it's the best light, and people who say, oh, it has to be like full light in order to make beautiful pictures, I completely disagree. I even like sometimes when it's raining outside, for instance, and the light is gray, I don't think it's a bad thing actually. For me it's worse when it's too much sun. So you have to play with all these factors and find what is your way of taking pictures, because maybe for you it will be like, for me the most magical, it's like the golden hour, when it's like 1 hour before the sunset, and I think it's the best pictures that you can ever take. But maybe you will like the full light and you will play around it, so it's all up to you obviously. And just see what suits you the most. And I, for instance, when I started to take the pictures, I think it was quite often in at night, in the dark, and very like blurry, or the opposite actually, like the it would be super like black and white, and not like I didn't have any gray tones. I don't think there are rules for that. I think it's just for you to do that. And then I would actually say, because when I started, what was super popular, it's websites like Flickr, 500 pixels and pixels or pixels. Now I think everyone goes on Instagram more, which is fine, but I think Instagram has these algorithms now, so your pictures are not visible. So I would advise to go more to professional websites for photographers, and it's how you can learn too, by watching other photographers. They have quests quite often, so you can like apply for those. I have two advices for the websites, maybe even three. Yeah, Flickr, I think it's a good one. 500 pixels is a very nice one, and Viewbug is the other one, where I actually won twice, I think, or three. Yeah, twice. I won a prize in there because I posted my pictures for the quests. So I think it's very important to find these methods for yourself and be regular in it. It was my mistake. I wouldn't post anything for years, I swear. I still have so many pictures no one ever saw. So I have this kind of like problem of sharing my work, and it's not good at all. You need to go out there and share. And every photographer that I'm friends with who are kind of famous, they all say the same thing. You have to search for magazines or accounts on Facebook or anywhere, groups where you can be a part of and learn from other people, and then post your work too if you're not afraid of comments. You can even ask, oh, can you give me advices about my work? So I think it's very important to feel the support of other people, and that's why it's very important to find a community, I think. So you have to find kind of your light, and your signature colors, I think, are very important too. I would recommend obviously to have it as natural as possible. Don't like over edit your pictures once you've done with them. It was my mistake. I would work too much on my pictures in order to make them look super colorful, and now I kind of regret it because I like it more neutral. But I think when you start doing things like that, you don't really see it the same way. That's why it's very important to have people, professional ones, who can advise you. That's why I'm saying the community is very important. The other most amazing light for me is when it's against the sun, kind of. So the person can block the sun with their head, and it creates this beautiful halo. So it's my tips for my kind of photography, but it can be anything. It's for you to find your way to do that. And then just try to figure out which colors are yours. Is it more orangey ones? Is it more like yellow, greenish, blue? For me, it was very important to have my colors. And yeah, and once you master this part, I think it's very good to give yourself challenges. Like if, for instance, you meet someone, I don't know, at noon and the light is full on and you, as me, don't like it at all, just go to the shades and try to shoot in the shades. It can be super interesting too. So I think it's one of the other very important thing for the photographers is to adapt. Uh, if you do something for yourself, obviously you can choose whatever you want to, but if you have to work with the client and the light is not as you expected, don't show it. Don't let it like show on your face that you're not happy or anything, because the model thinks, every model will think, oh, it's about me, I think. So when you look at your pictures, never do something like oh, like I'm not sure, because I've been on the other side of the lens, and when the photographer would look at the pictures and I would see the reaction that he's or she's not happy, it would frustrated me so much, because I would think, oh my god, I'm such a bad model, and then from this moment I can't give anything to the photographer because I'm just terrified. So I think it's very important to control your face and not show. If you're not satisfied with the images, just shoot as much as you can. And I have this like weird rule, I think. I don't look a lot on my camera when I shoot. I'm concentrated on what's happening with the model and surroundings. Every now and then I look at my pictures just to see if everything is right. And I'm not doing any like stupid mistakes, but I have this rule of counting in my head how many good pictures I can see. And usually I wait until I have like, I know that I have 10 amazing pictures, and then I can stop the shooting. But don't stop when you still feel like there's something else to get somewhere like more interesting with the model, because some people need more time. But I shoot very fast. Usually in first 15 minutes I'm done. And it's very frightening for the models, because they think that I didn't get anything. But I think for me, but it's my experience. I shoot very fast, so the person doesn't, how do I put it? So the person doesn't have time to be bored or overthink things. So the person is still kind of figuring out what to do, and I don't want the person to figure out what to do, because it's my job. And yeah, and I think it's very important to catch. It's my, I think, other advice, to catch these moments in between. So I will try to explain it as much as I can. It's what I do with all of my subjects. I try to make them forget that I'm here, because for me the most beautiful picture is the one where the person kind of forgot that there is a camera in front. So I try to make them do things, like weird things sometimes, like lay down on the like wet floor or something. Just also be careful, because some people are not comfortable with that, and some will be kind of upset if you ask them to lay down. So be sure to gently ask if it's okay for them, because I had crazy amazing models who would say, oh, let's do whatever you want to do, and more they put themselves into the extreme situations, more they're happy. Make your models do something so they can lay down. I think it's one of the most amazing poses, and one of the most amazing thing where they forget what they're really doing, and it's when you shoot very fast. So before they get into this like situation where they start think, oh, am I laying down correctly and stuff like that, you already shoot and you already have amazing images. So don't wait for the perfect shot. So you have to know all of this when you start to shoot, and then try to also have fun, because it's very important not to do just a perfect like headshot. The idea is to bring joy to the model too, give them self-confidence. And some models like when you show them the pictures, I don't necessarily show my pictures until they're done to the models, because I had this like very bad experience when one of the models asked me to see the pictures, and when I started to show, she erased one that I thought was amazing, and it kind of traumatized me. So I tend to not to show my pictures until they're done. But some people can be really self-conscious, and it can be very reassuring to show a picture that you know that it's a beautiful one, that you have to be sure it's a beautiful one, because the other upsetting part of showing the picture to the model, imagine if you show a picture that you're really proud of and you think it's amazing and the model is upset. So the model photo shoot will be ruined because she will think that she looks terrible, and your photo shoot will be ruined too because you will think, oh, okay, I thought it was amazing, so now I don't know what to do. So I think it's okay to show a picture if you're really sure that it's a good one and the model won't be disappointed, or at the end of the photo shoot when it's already done and you know that you're not going to take other ones. I don't know, we all have different methods. These are mine. As I said, again, it doesn't mean that it's a good one, but it's what I do. The other, I think, creative advice that I always use, a very good one with people who are not comfortable in front of the camera, is to put something in between. I think if you know a bit about my photography, you will always see mirrors and windows and glasses and stuff like that, because I think it creates more magic when you put something in between. It can be anything. It can be plastic or something, because it gives this vibe of something magical going on. If the model is behind the window and you are like on the other side, he doesn't hear you. So I think it's very interesting with people who feel not that comfortable in front of the camera, and it's also very interesting for you. So I would definitely say try to shoot with mirrors. I have some models that were telling me, oh, I have these angles of my face that I really like, can I show it to you? And I think it's very interesting too to see what the model wants. So they would like show you in the mirror the angle and you can shoot through the mirror. So it gives like another dimension to the picture. So I would always recommend to do things like that. If your model is kind of stiff and very like frightened to make the first pictures, I have so many models like that, and the most interesting part for me, it was often actors who would feel so uncomfortable in front of the camera, and I had to figure out how to make them feel comfortable, and maybe take more time with them to explain things and talk to them. But yeah, the I think it's very cool if you try to make them do something as like dancing, or I don't know, put something in their hands like a branch, or make them interact with trees or anything basically. One of my favorite photo shoots was with the actress that I became super friends with. She's one of my best friends. She's actually the reason why I'm here in London now. She was waiting for me under the rain for our first photo shoot, and she was so anxious. And worst thing that I forgot my SD card for my camera, but luckily there was a shop just nearby, so we went there to buy the card. And but she was all the way she was saying, oh, maybe it's a sign, maybe we shouldn't shoot together, I hate pictures, I was kind of like traumatized by photographers and I never like what I see afterwards, I hate all the pictures with myself, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, talk but we still gonna shoot together. And we did, and it's still to this day one of my favorite photo shoots, and I think hers too, because I don't know, we had so much fun together. Yeah, in the beginning, I think the first 30 minutes, she was just talking too much, and she was just trying every position I would put her in the picture. She would overthink it and be like, oh, I think I don't look good like this, or blah blah blah. And then it was raining, so I would say, well, just go there with your umbrella and just, I don't know, turn around and don't look at me. Actually, this is another good advice. Maybe sometimes it's easier to start with people who are not comfortable in front of the camera by turning them back to you, so you start to shoot from the back. And I think it's a very also cool thing when people are anxious. You make them like walk, run, jump, so they don't have a choice, so at some point they relax. And but be gentle with these ones, because I also heard very sad stories, and I actually had a story like that myself, when a guy insisted to take pictures of me and he was so mean. I didn't know what to do. I was super young and very uncomfortable with my body, with my face, with everything. And he would not yell at me, I wouldn't exaggerate, but he was just mean. He would be like, oh, relax, why are you so stiff, Well, by saying that, it's not gonna help, believe me. So if you see someone in front of your camera and maybe you're looking, oh, okay, it's been already 1 hour, and for instance, you get paid for 1 hour shooting, take more time, take extra 15 minutes to make the person feel better, because maybe for them it will be life changing. And this actress who was super uncomfortable in front of the camera, she afterwards, when I sent the picture, she left me one of the most amazing reviews, saying that she can't believe it's her. She thanks to me, she got more confident and she got more auditions and stuff like that. And I think it's priceless when you can help someone to feel better inside of their bodies. I think it's amazing. So be patient, and especially when time passes by, and you've been a photographer for many years, for instance, you lose this patience. I know I'm speaking for myself too, that sometimes I'm like, okay, well, just relax and just yeah, just listen to me. But yeah, some people need more time. And I heard the other, as I said, terrible stories where like very famous headshot photographers would talk super badly to the model and would be like, oh, change, okay, done, oh, stop being so serious, smile. And how can you smile when someone is like mean to you? So keep in mind all of these things, because I think our job is super important and people don't realize that the image that you take can stay here forever, and the person will be like in 10 years can see herself on the image and be like, oh my god, it was such an amazing experience. So I think it's very important too to give a good impression after the photo shoot about the whole experience. It's not only the picture, it's the whole thing. The final advice I can give that I didn't take for myself, but now I do, and I try to be very careful with that. I spend lots of time on editing, so I would just make a photo shoot and then I would do it only weeks, sometimes months or even years later. I realized once during the lockdown actually that helped me to work on my personal projects that I kind of left behind because I felt like no one is interested in it. And I think it was one of the biggest mistakes that you can make is just make your clients happy with the pictures, but don't like necessarily take more time for yourself and for your project. So I kind of stopped shooting for myself. I was shooting only for clients. So all the projects that I've done for myself, I would do them, yeah, as I said, years later. And once I discovered that I did this photo shoot that I really wanted to make, and it was a very special one for me because it was with my two best friends in Thailand actually, and I've done this photo shoot and give it to my friends 5 years later. 5 years. So I think it's unacceptable now, and this is one of the advices that a very good friend of mine gave me, and she said like once I've done with my photo shoot, I just go home and I select straight away the pictures that I want to edit. This way I know what I need to work on, and I do them in the following 2 days. And I was shocked. I was like, okay, I take weeks and months to give the photo shoot back. And now I try not to do that. I take 1 month at the tops. So I try to do it as fast as I can, because I think there is also this energy of the project that you've done with someone. So you create something very beautiful and you're both excited about it. And then if you wait 1, 2, 3 months, then it's kind of already gone. And I was doing this mistake for years. It's the advice that I give to you and to myself too, is to show your personal work. Like, I don't know, whatever you shoot for yourself, I think it's the ones that work the most. I think it's very important to have this flow of work all the time. Set yourself the discipline of doing something, like for instance, take a Monday to send your pictures to, I don't know, magazines, for instance, some point of the day to post your pictures on Instagram, Facebook, or anywhere else. I'm gonna put you the links to my favorite websites where you can share your work to, and then just search for more, because as I said, I'm not very good at all this like communication skills. This is maybe one of the reasons why it's better to go to the school. Maybe they explain this kind of things, but also I do remember that many years ago another photographer gave me as advice as to be very active on social media in general, like on every social media you can find, because I think it's where you find your like followers, and it's not necessarily on Facebook or Instagram and among your friends, because it's amazing to have comments from your friends and things like that, but it's I had this thing where my friends or my family would say something nice about my work. I wouldn't believe them because I think, well, they love me anyway, so of course, obviously, they would say something nice. So I think it's better to have advices from professional people. So that's why, like, this kind of like photography community is very important, and any other community in arts. I think you should definitely try to be friends with people from your community, and not necessarily one-on-one friends. It can be like online. I think you just need to maybe create projects in common. So yeah, these were my tips. I think it's very chaotic, so I really hope you you were able to follow all of my ideas. And yeah, I hope it can help in one way or another, and I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave any comments, or if you have any questions, I always answer. It's awesome for me to be helpful for people who start, because as I said, no one was really here for me when I started, and I didn't know what to do, and I had no idea. And now that I have an idea, I kind of want to share it and make people go towards their dreams a bit faster than I did. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.